The day I received the medical diagnosis for my wife, she unexpectedly installed a camera in our master bedroom. That night I saw her swearing over the phone. "I swear I won't let her touch me anymore. I've sent all the account details and passwords to you. You can log in and check anytime." I decided to stay chaste for love. Seeing her face radiant with emotion, I quietly fed the medical report into the shredder. Stay chaste for love. Fine, then stay chaste for life. On Willow Serene's diagnosis paper, when the letters SL appeared before my eyes, I nearly couldn't stand. 3 months ago, Willow Serene fell while mountain climbing and got injured. During her hospital stay, I specifically requested a comprehensive checkup for her, just hoping for a bit of peace of mind. I never expected such a result. Epilepsy currently incurable. Only medication can delay and control it, but the final outcome is irreversible. The doctor's gaze toward me was filled with pity. Willow Serene was just past 30, beautiful as a flower, radiant as jade, shining brightly. A successful career, a renowned divorce lawyer in the country, sharp and decisive, calm and rational, elite among the elite. Her private life simple and disciplined, loved gym workouts and mountain climbing, extremely particular about quality of life. Thinking of someone like her, becoming an epileptic unable to care for herself, I couldn't bear to imagine it. Sitting by the roadside watching the endless stream of people, for a long time I slowly stood up. I had thought it through. As husband and wife, we must advance and retreat together. No matter what happens to her in the future, we'll face it with our son. When I got home it was already dark. Our son One Radiance quietly played Go in his room. At just 7 had reached Go level 5. Once interviewed on TV as a prodigy, "Have you eaten, son?" I adjusted my emotions, asking him gently. "I ate today and he made lotus root and pork rib soup." He didn't look at me, focused on the Go board. "Where's your weird mom? Running can't go anywhere." One Radiance has a calm temperament. His words short and clear. 2 hours after putting him to bed, I leaned against the bed, hesitating whether to tell Willow Serene about her condition. She came back wearing a black tracksuit, exuding confidence. Nimble, neat. I immediately worried it was only a few degrees outside. "Why are you dressed so lightly?" Among the doctor's instructions today, epileptic patients' muscles gradually atrophy. Their bodies generate less heat. They mustn't get cold, or the condition will worsen faster. Willow Serene, expressionless, coldly said, "Everyone dresses like that for running." She casually opened a box in her hand, took out a camera, placed it on the dresser across from the bed to set it up, pointed straight at the bed. I was puzzled. Why suddenly install a camera? There's been a theft recently. A camera makes it safer. Aren't you afraid of privacy leaks? I asked hesitantly. After all, Willow Serene highly valued privacy. She glanced at me saying, "Privacy? Who cares about your privacy?" A mix of emotions surged in my heart. I didn't want to argue with her. Before bed, she lay down, turning her back to me far away, as if exhausted, unwilling to talk. I sighed softly to myself. She had just completed a high-profile celebrity divorce case. The pressure finally released. Let her relax for now. In the middle of the night, I felt uneasy. Suddenly woke up. The bed beside me was empty. Willow Serene wasn't there. Panic gripped my heart. I got up to find her on the balcony. She stood in thin pajamas in the night, whined on the phone. I hurriedly grabbed a coat and approached. "I won't let him touch me anymore." The sound of light rain reached my ears. My steps froze. "I've sent all the account details and passwords to you. You can log in and check anytime." I decided to stay chaste for love. Through the glass, I stared at Willow Serene. On her usually cold, composed face, a surge of intense emotions appeared. Seeing her face radiant with emotion, my mind gradually pieced together the logic of her words. In that moment, I felt I no longer recognized her. Willow Serene in bed had strong desires. By day she was disciplined, controlled. At night she demanded a lot. In recent years her work pressure had skyrocketed. Her words and actions cautious, precise, impeccable. So she became increasingly closed off, only in brief moments of intimacy at night. When she panted in my ear full of emotion, Could I find again the image of the girl who blushed seeing me years ago? We were classmates in our master's program. She pursued me. That cold beauty gave me fiery looks. I was quickly conquered. Later, I stayed at the university as a lecturer, teaching psychology. She went from intern lawyer to partner, becoming a nationally famous divorce lawyer, earning millions annually. In personality, we shared similarities: emotionally stable, rational practical, objective calm, valuing quality of life, willing to strive for ideals. My job was stable, respectable, balancing kids and family, while she soared in her career, flying high in her field. Married for 8 years. We respected each other like guests, supporting each other to succeed, living in an apartment worth tens of millions, with a prodigy son everyone admired, a family others envied. But 6 months ago, she suddenly changed. She had a habit of running at night, before always out at 8, back by 9. Showered, then half an hour for family, never changing. But 6 months ago, she started leaving at 7, not back until 10, returning exhausted, showering and going straight to bed. Family time suddenly canceled. I asked why she ran so long. She casually said her case had no leads. Staying out longer cleared her mind. Mental work sometimes tires more than physical. I understood, so I didn't ask more. After that, she seemed to suddenly lose interest in marital intimacy. I thought the pressure was affecting her body. I didn't say it out loud, but I worried deeply for her. So when she was hospitalized after her fall, I urged her to pause work, rest and recover for a while, and requested a full checkup from the doctor. But looking back now, things weren't as I thought. I lay back in bed, in the darkness, staring wide-eyed at the ceiling. Her words made me feel estranged. Her expression made it feel unreal, to the point that today, facing to massive shocks, curiosity overwhelmed the pain and anger I should felt. I was truly curious. Who was the man on the other end of the phone that turned the old Willow Serene into this? I always worked straightforwardly. The next evening, I slipped sleeping pills into her milk. She slept like the dead. I used her hand to unlock her phone, found the number from last night, stared at it for a long time. A nerve in my brain connected. I'd seen this number before, 3 months ago. After Willow Serene was hospitalized for her fall, I asked the police for the contact of the person who reported it, wanting to express gratitude. The police gave me this exact number. My memory is excellent, especially for numbers. I couldn't have mistaken it. In front of the police, I called that number. A man answered, his voice gentle, refined, but sounding a bit older. He politely declined to meet, said no thanks were needed. It was what anyone would do. After hanging up, the police smiled and said others might want thanks, but not him. I asked why. They said during questioning they recognized him. This man had been in the news as the most resilient man. He too had a tragic story. At his wedding, his wife had a stroke, fully paralyzed, leaving a 7-year-old stepson. He didn't abandon her, cared for her for 13 years, handling every small detail himself, raising the boy alone. Last year, his wife passed away. He finally moved on. Now he ran a small stall at the suburban park gate, selling mutton offal soup. A man of such moral character. How could he accept your thanks? Back then, I nodded in admiration. My wife was lucky to meet him. Now, deep in the night, I held the phone dazed for a long time, then opened the photo album. Whether Willow Serene was too confident or too trusting of me, she barely hid anything. Before my eyes were countless photos of a man, the same man under a starry night sky, a small stall glowing with warm light, steam rising. The man had gentle eyes, a radiant smile, sometimes cutting ingredients, sometimes cooking soup, sometimes chatting with customers. Each frame exuded warmth, filled with a sense of calm years. In hundreds of photos, the man went from short sleeves and summer pants to a thick winter jacket, spanning half a year. On the third day, I went to the suburban park, sat in front of a stall with a sign reading Summer Rain, watching the man named Summer Rain not far away. He was crouching by a flower bed, gently talking to a stray cat. 2 women stood by the stall, joking that Brother Rain only cared about these cats and dogs, not bothering to make money. Summer Rain quickly stood up, apologized gently saying he didn't notice. I just felt sorry for them. Got distracted, didn't see you ladies. Another woman laughed, saying he was doing good deeds. These strays treated him like home, knowing Hayes soft-hearted, always coming to beg food. The warm, wholesome scene was pleasing to the eye. After the women left, I stepped up, ordered a bowl of mutton offal soup. Summer Rain responded cheerfully, smiling brightly, serving me soup. Through the rising steam, I quietly observed him, about 35 or 36. Fine lines at the corners of his eyes. No longer youthful, but soft features. Short, neat hair, exuding a distinct masculine charm. First time here, brother. Let me add some extra mutton LUONG. I sat at the small table, slowly savoring the flavor, my mind wrestling with a question. Summer Rain, a man like this, with such experiences and character, could he really meddle in someone else's family? Could he not? My gaze drifted. Summer Rain sat across from me. I looked at him. He smiled gently, his eyes bright, looking at me. Your lawyer Willow's husband, right? I put down my spoon, calmly met his eyes, so he knew me. He smiled, saying, I have a good memory. Saw you once on lawyer Willow's phone. Recognized you right away. I thought bitterly to myself. Before, Willow Serene's phone wallpaper was me and our son. At some point, she changed it to a landscape. He lowered his eyes, silent for a few seconds, then spoke. I know why you're here. Maybe you think there's something between me and lawyer Willow. I didn't speak. He slowly raised his eyes, his expression warm and sincere. My friend, if you trust me, there's nothing. Lawyer Willow and I are completely innocent. Our only contact is after she finished running. She comes to my stall for a bowl of soup. At this point, a hint of worrying crossed his face. Later, I noticed her drinking soup with a low mood, not talking to anyone, looking under great pressure. I kindly comforted her a few times. Unexpectedly well, she might have misunderstood. She started saying things out of nowhere. I found it amusing. Not to mention she's married, even if single. Someone like her. How could she fancy someone like me? I told her it was just a fleeting impulse, but she wouldn't listen. Instead, she got more excessive, sometimes even recklessly calling the hospital, saying unbelievable things. Honestly, if you hadn't come to me, I was planning to find you to talk. Lawyer Willow must be under too much pressure to act so crazily and irrationally. As her husband, maybe you should help her more. I stared at the white oil film on the soup. You mean all this is Willow Serene's delusion? You've always advised and rejected her. Summer Rain sighed softly, slowly nodded. I looked up at him, slowly asked, the camera in our bedroom for you to check. Was that also her reckless impulse despite you? Summer Rain froze for a second, said had already criticized her for that. It was too foolish. I pressed on. What about the mountain climb together? She got hurt shielding you, leading to her fall. Was that also her dragging you along? Summer Rain's pupils dilated slightly. He suddenly stood up. Mountain climbing? I don't know what you're talking about. I coldly stared at him. Didn't you say you have a good memory? I even called to thank you back then. Forgot so quickly. At that moment, a customer called one large portion to go. Summer Rain hurriedly went to the stall, stiffly scooped soup with a ladle. Then a loud crash. The pot of hot mutton offal soup tipped over. Soup and offal spilled everywhere. Hot soup splashed onto him. Summer Rain cried out in pain, his eyes instantly red. The customer yelped, quickly stepped back, muttering bad luck, cursing, and leaving. I looked at the chaotic scene, not wanting to catch any of the stench. Grabbed my bag to leave. His eyes red, he suddenly shouted, sorry. I stopped, frowning at him. He stood there flustered, panting softly, sorry. I did hide that from you. That day, I was upset because my stepson got into a fight. She came at the right time, said climbing would make me feel better. So I went along. After she fell, I was terrified. Called 110 but didn't dare meet you, afraid of misunderstanding. His eyes were red. Tears fell one by one. His hand splashed by hot soup, blistered painfully. He looked pitiful. Desire Nguyen, what are you doing? A loud shout came from behind. Turning, I saw Willow Serene full of anger, running quickly from afar. In that moment, I was slightly stunned. It had been so long since I'd seen such intense emotion on her face. She wore a black suit, only worn for formal negotiations, meaning she rushed here from an important work event. Before even when I had a car accident and called her, she insisted on finishing negotiations before coming to the hospital. Willow Serene's fierce eyes looked at the ground, then at Summer Rain panting softly. Her lips tightened, stepping toward him. She lowered her head, quietly looking at the flustered, helpless man, suddenly pulled him into her arms. I'm here hugging Summer Rain. Are you okay? Did he hurt you? Summer Rain's face pressed against her shoulder. Grieved to the extreme, holding back tears, he softly said, I'm fine. Willow Serene closed her eyes in pain. Gently said Summer Rain, do you remember your favorite phrase? The light boat has passed 10,000 mountains. Your hardships are over. Completely over. Nothing will make Summer Rain shed another tear. From start to finish, Willow Serene didn't glance at me once. I took out my phone, snapping several photos of them. The shutter clicked clearly. Summer Rain quickly pulled away from her embrace, stepped back a few paces, his face full of regret and embarrassment. As if realizing what had done, he panicked, looking at me hurriedly, explaining, I forgot, I didn't mean to. He couldn't continue, because I just quietly stared at him. You don't need to say a word. Willow Serene coldly interrupted him, turning to me. In that moment, she reverted to the calm, sharp lawyer, her eyes cold, commanding. Desire Nguyen, let's talk at home. This is near your university. The park is full of students coming and going. Making a scene here isn't good for you. Besides, she glanced at the messy ground. Bullying a lonely, pitiful person, what's so great about that? I kept looking at her, my voice calm. You know this place has many of my students coming and going. So you as my wife, embracing another man, like a blazing fire here. Does that feel thrilling? Willow Serene's eyes wavered slightly, a hint of surprise in her gaze. After all, in front of her, I was always gentle, polite, composed. She'd never seen this side of me. Even I hadn't seen this side of myself. Even if I slapped both of them now, it wouldn't be too much. But I won't let others frame me. I turned to ask, Summer Rain, quietly cleaning up, Brother Rain, you're silent. Do you really have that intention? He trembled. After a few seconds, slowly raised his chin, loudly saying, fine. Stop arguing, both of you. It wasn't him, I spilled it myself, okay? His eyes red, aggrieved, looking at Willow Serene. Lawyer Willow, please take your husband and leave. Don't affect my business. I won't deal with you anymore. Please don't come back. Nearby customers trickled in. What's going on? How did it come to this? Brother Rain, is someone bullying you? Who is it? Who dares bully Brother Rain? I'm the first to object. Unfriendly eyes turned toward me. Willow Serene's gaze darkened. She grabbed my hand, heading to the parking lot. I followed her. Facing us were familiar students, holding basketballs, grinning, greeting me, hello teacher. I smiled and nodded hello. At the parking lot, I forcefully shook off her hand, calmly walked to my car. Trees on both sides of the road sped by. I drove on the boulevard. Tears finally fell uncontrollably. I allowed myself half an hour to be angry, too grieved to accept the limit, then turned the wheel, heading to the bank. Willow Serene and I had a family account. Both our salaries, bonuses, profits went into it. When opening the account, she smiled and said to me, didn't you always say I don't show affection? This account is for you to manage. It'll just deposit money. Consider it security for you and our son. Is this expression satisfying? Over the years, the account amassed over 18 million. The bank staff, surprised, told me this account was frozen for violating guarantees. Didn't you know? My hands and feet turned cold, slowly asking, since when? 2 months ago. 2 months ago. When Shed just recovered and left the hospital, I was exhausted caring for her, running a fever for a week. So while I was delirious with fever, she began preparing to gain the upper hand in a divorce. I found it both ironic and laughable. On the way here, I regretted being too impulsive, not planning a fallback before showing my cards. Well done. She had already calculated against me. When a woman changes her heart, she's truly ruthless. Back home, it was pitch dark. Willow Serene, in comfortable pajamas, calmly sat on the sofa sipping tea. She glanced at me one radiance. I sent him to my mother's. Let's talk clearly once. I sat down quietly looking at her. She took a sip of tea, slowly spoke. I planned to talk later. After all, I was a bit reluctant. Wanted you and our son to enjoy this happy life a bit longer. But since you chose to stir things up today, it'll go along with it. Desire Nguyen, I love someone else. Let's divorce. I was strangely calm, even smiled slightly at her. Willow Serene, can you tell me, what do you love about him? That you'd betray 10 years of our love, abandon this family. She frowned slightly. If you must know clearly. Silent for a moment, she spoke in a gentle emotional tone, slowly saying, these years because of work, I've seen too much deception in marriages. I long lost normal perception and judgment of love and marriage. But after meeting him, I discovered there are still men like that. For love and responsibility, he can sacrifice without hesitation. His best 13 years, he brought vitality to my stifling, stagnant life. You ask what I love about him. I've asked myself countless times. Because he's gentle, kind, resilient. Because life gave him suffering. But he bloomed resiliently in the mud. Because every cold night, the hot bowl of soup he handed me. After saying this long piece, her face surged with emotion, as if moved by her own words. The room fell silent. For a long time, I smiled faintly. So the soup he makes isn't hot enough. You need to go taste some stench outside. Willow Serene froze, her face instantly cold. Desire Nguyen, you're a refined realist. You wouldn't understand this kind of emotion. I nodded fine. You leave with nothing and I agree to divorce. She showed clear sarcasm on her face. Not to mention the law doesn't allow leaving empty-handed. Even if it did summer rain and I haven't done anything concrete, I'm not even the guilty party. I looked at her half-lying, half-bitter inside. Can a person really change so completely, turning heartless as if their soul was swapped? Willow Serene seemed to guess my thoughts. She frowned. No need to act like that. When love is gone, divorce is natural. When I fell on the mountain and waited for rescue, I thought it through. Life is short. I don't want to be timid, afraid to love, even if it brings infamy or criticism. I want to live truly once. Desire Nguyen, don't forget what I do. I have plenty of ways. It's just whether I choose to use them on you. I chuckled softly. No need to use them on me, haven't you already? Playing dirty tricks to freeze the account. Romanticizing your pure noble love. Willow Serene glanced at me calm. Said, so you checked the account. It's no big deal. Just a standard move. To ensure the divorce goes smoothly. I've prepared everything for you. Here is the divorce agreement. Our son goes to me. The house goes to you. Of course you handle the remaining loan. Given our financial contributions to the family, this plan is as fair as it gets. Crash! I grabbed the ashtray on the table and threw it at her. She clutched her forehead. Bright red blood seeped through her fingers. You're crazy, she said, shocked and angry. Looking at my pounding heart, she quickly grabbed the car keys and ran out without looking back. I slowly sat down, picked up the teapot, pouring myself a cup. In just 3 short days, my life had completely changed. After leaving the bank, I realized Willow Serene had finally used her divorce tactics on me. I was probably unluckier than other men. Not only betrayed emotionally, but my wife was a professional divorce lawyer. Over the years, she'd honed a cold ruthlessness, every move driven by self-interest. If I kept wallowing in useless pain, I'd surely have no ground to stand on. I had to handle this her way. So before coming home, I went to my mother-in-law's to pick up one Radiance, arranged for him to stay with a familiar Go teacher. I quietly sipped tea, outside the window unnoticed. A full moon hung silently in the sky. After a long time, I stood and went to the room, took out the diagnosis report, my mind in turmoil. The phone buzzed. Willow Serene sent me a photo. In it, her forehead bandaged, lying with eyes closed on a man's lap. 2 hands, 1 male, 1 female tightly clasped. Below was the text, "If you don't cherish him, I have no reason to feel guilty. Your impulsiveness made me agree to him." This is a notice and a blatant provocation. A man who's overcome life's hardships has seen all the world's ugliness. How could he be a flower in the mud? That afternoon, spilling the hot soup was deliberate. When I was about to leave, his apology, calling me back, was also deliberate, because had already alerted Willow Serene to come. Willow Serene saw through interests, but not through people's hearts. How pitiful. I whispered softly, feeding the diagnosis report into the shredder. The whirring sound rose, my heart gradually calmed. Yes, I was facing the kindest man and a professional divorce lawyer, but this battle I'd fight to the end with them. Divorce was certain. I'd keep our son and the money. More importantly, I'd make this infatuated couple stick together even in the next life, inseparable even in death. The light boat has passed 10,000 mountains. It'll make you climb mountain after mountain. Before one is crossed, another looms higher. I rejected Willow Serene's divorce agreement terms. As a professional divorce lawyer, she'd never want her own divorce to go to court. That would mean she failed to negotiate, proving she couldn't handle it, damaging her professional image. I wasn't in a rush, not entirely unhurried, but certainly less hurried than them. Summer Rain in Willow Serene's eyes was so noble, but before they officially started a relationship, if he made any proactive move, his fake halo would be tainted, so he could only reject while accepting. At critical moments, he had to righteously play the moral saint, and Willow Serene couldn't at this crucial divorce juncture do anything to make herself the guilty party, so both had to restrain themselves. At most, she could only, every night while running, stop by Summer Rain's stall for a bowl of mutton offal soup. Mutton offal soup! I lifted the steaming teacup, watching snowflakes drift outside. The doctor said epileptic patients, besides keeping warm, must avoid purinuric foods, or the condition progresses faster. And purinuric foods are mainly animal offal. Willow Serene returned from the office after a week. As she entered, I was packing things. Her forehead had a bandage. Her face I see. Without a word, she went straight to the bedroom, quickly packed a suitcase, then dragged it out. I coldly spoke. I planned to leave the house to you, but what you've done has drained our bond. So well, follow the law. The bank account is frozen. Our main joint asset is this house. So do you want to sell it and split it with me, or directly give me the equivalent money? I tossed an album into a cardboard box, smiled faintly. What has Summer Rain set his sights on this house? Willow Serene cold. You think everyone's like you, only seeing profit. Summer Rain never mentioned money in front of me. Don't insult him. She suddenly frowned, noticing something, stepped forward to pick up the album from the box. What are you doing? Throwing out trash. She showed clear anger, but quickly restrained it. She was very familiar with this album. It held all our photos from university, from her secretly snapping pictures of me to getting acquainted to passionate love. I once treasured it, kept it in a safe, said we'd look back on it when we're old. Now I was expressionless. Snatched the album from her, tossing it carelessly. In the quiet room, a thud echoed. Not leaving yet, it's almost time for your run, right? After the reminder, her face darkened, standing there, silent for a moment. She turned decisively, coldly, leaving one sentence, one radiance. Hiding him is useless. He's my son. He'll have a better future with me. With that, she slammed the door and left. Half an hour later, I stood, clapped my hands, sighed. Everything related to her was neatly packed, ready to be thrown in the trash. So the cherished memories of youth amounted to just this. While reflecting, the phone rang. A young man's cocky voice came through. In Big Fly, you were looking for me. I looked at the guy in front of me, chewing gum arrogantly, hair dyed messily, cold, trying to be cool eyes. But looking closely in the snowy weather, he wore a thin jacket, cuffs frayed white, zipper torn, clumsily sewn with black thread, as if he stitched it himself. I got to the point. You're Big Fly, Summer Rain's stepson. He glanced, saying nothing. I took out a stack of cash, handed it over. My wife wants to divorce me because of him. I need your help. Deal? He waved. The cash disappeared. Answering so quickly, I was slightly surprised. You don't ask anything, just agree, trust me. What's not to trust? He chewed gum nonstop, answering carelessly. He raised me through hardship. Big Fly spat the gum in an art, his expression sarcastic. Rather than say he raised me through hardship, it's more like he enjoyed his image in others' eyes. I observed him, took out another stack of cash. He waved, taking it. Continued. I started learning music at 4. My mom left money for my lessons. He donated it all to orphans. When reporters interviewed, he said other kids don't even have food. Our struggles aren't as bad as theirs. Know how my mom died. Bedsores got in. He cared for her, sure, but only the front. You say your wife was charmed by him. I'm not surprised. His image always attracts fools. But with your status, it's a first. Big Fly smirked, clutching the cash tightly. So, I just need to make him force your wife to divorce. Simple as that. I nodded. Simple as that. But just divorce isn't enough. It has to be the way I want. I had to hit both fronts. The next day in light snow, I went back to Summer Rain's mutton offal soup stall. Summer Rain was kneeling in the snow, tying a shoelace for an old man with a cane. Nearby elders gave thumbs up. Whoever gets a man like you is blessed for 8 lifetimes. Summer Rain stood shyly, saying, with my conditions, who'd care? Turning, he met my eyes. His face paled, lips pursed. He stepped toward me, slightly raising his chin. Lawyer Willow said, if you dare touch me even a bit, shall help me sue you. I lowered my eyes, then looked up, anger surging, face contorted, as if losing control. Summer Rain, what did that message you sent me mean? You two are together now. Aren't you afraid it'll expose you, make you unable to lift your head for life? Summer Rain narrowed his eyes, watching me, suddenly laughed, shaking his head, sighing. I used to think university teachers were lofty, brilliant. Now I see, you're no different from street thugs. He looked at me, gentle yet vile. Your heart shapes your world. I did agree to her. After all, she offered a burning heart. No man wouldn't be moved by such sincere love. Lawyer Willow, a woman so outstanding under such pressure gets no warmth at home. You really don't cherish her, but am not as foolish as you think. Even if I agreed out of necessity, I still keep my distance. I'd never, while she's still married, have any affair with her. I am still me. She comes in here, she doesn't, am still here. That's all. I said loudly. Don't think I don't know what you're after. You're just eyeing her money, aren't you? If not, why is she so insistent on splitting assets before divorcing? He smirked, not bothering to argue. Everyone knows I, Summer Rain, despise money most. If not in those 13 years, I had countless chances. The only thing that moves me is true love. I laughed coldly, full of sarcasm. Sounds nice. She loves you so much. Why not divorce quickly and marry you? She must value money more than you. Summer Rain's calm, serene face suddenly showed discomfort. Her true love I know in my heart. I laughed triumphantly. True love. If you're so great, make her leave empty-handed. If she'd rather have you than money, I'll believe she truly loves you. Otherwise, it's all empty words. Just an excuse for your illicit affair. Summer Rain's cheek twitched, lips pursed. After a while, he looked at me, word by word. What if she does? I boldly declared. Then I'll personally attend your wedding with a gift. Let everyone know, even I, the exhausted, was moved by your love. Then your image, Summer Rain, will shine even brighter. In my resolute words, his eyes gradually lit up. I knew. His adrenaline and dopamine were stirring. The city had blizzards for days. Traffic was disrupted. Summer Rain's stall paused. But the infatuated couple, how could they be stopped by such trifles? Willow serene, using the excuse of craving mutton offal soup. After work each day despite snow and wind, walked half an hour to Summer Rain's home for a bowl of soup. Even with the weather and distance, their meetings grew more thrilling. Willow serene sat at the dining table. Summer Rain busied himself just for her. They occasionally smiled at each other. Truly a warm, lovely scene, like a cherished light. I saw all this through the camera. Days ago, Big Fly sent me a receipt. I asked what it was. He grumbled, I'm too lazy to tell you their story. I installed a camera, watch it yourself. It's my mom's house, I'll install what I want. I nodded in agreement. Willow Serene cautious and calculating. Only before summer rain. Burned like an old house collapsing entirely. Know your enemy to control the pace. Just using their own tactics against them. One day they were engrossed sipping soup. One gazing propped on her hand. The atmosphere perfect. Big Fly stormed in. Frowning. Suddenly said, so you're that wild woman. Both their faces changed. Summer Rain quickly explained gently. Lawyer Willow calmed down. Said she was just a customer for soup. Big Fly snorted in this cold. Coming daily for soup. Can't live without it. I thought the neighbors were lying. But why are you two panicking? Hooking up, just admit it. What's there to hide? It's just normal man-woman stuff. He glanced at Willow Serene defiantly. Or are you the type to scam and slaughter? Willow Serene's face darkened. I'm a lawyer. So you're a married woman. Her face paled. I just came for soup. Big Fly shouted, I despise you. You're targeting my stepdad for an affair. Get lost, married and still seducing him. I'll beat you to death. He made to strike. Summer Rain yelled, rushing to hold him back. The door wide open. In heavy snow, people were bored at home. Neighbors gathered outside watching the drama. Everyone buzzed. Summer Rain, don't be fooled. Scammers now look respectable. Years ago that case. The woman who kept coming, remember? You thought she was donating. Her husband came, made a scene. Don't get fooled again. Summer Rain, seeing this, smiled, explaining, just a soup customer. Big Fly misunderstood. After this, Willow Serene, fearing gossip, stopped coming daily, occasionally sneaking in. Like a thief, the two gradually pined for each other. Each meeting they clung desperately. Just looking could keep them still for hours. As for me, I sent Willow Serene a divorce letter draft. She replied with 3 words, no way. One day through the camera, Summer Rain suddenly told Willow Serene he was leaving this city. Willow Serene shocked, why must you go? Summer Rain eyes red. Big Fly's grown now. Living together like this isn't good. I don't own a house here. I can only return to my hometown. My aunt introduced a widow, over 40. But with my conditions, that's all I'm worth. That kind of woman doesn't deserve you. Willow Serene shouted angrily. You can't marry someone else, only me. Summer Rain teary, you have a family. I Summer Rain won't ruin someone's family. Lawyer Willow, let it go. We're fated but not meant to be. Willow Serene voice low. Summer Rain, wait a bit longer. How could I let you suffer? I'll definitely divorce. You don't understand. To gain the upper hand, I can't rush. Summer Rain suddenly stood, choking, shouting, aren't you a divorce lawyer? Why can't you divorce? Don't you earn millions a year? Why fight over every penny? I don't understand your twisted calculations. I only know I don't need money. I just want true love. Are you really prioritizing money? If so, leave. You don't deserve my true love. Willow Serene messaged me, the house is yours. You'll take the money and our son. I want both. Don't push it. Then let's negotiate slowly. The next time Willow Serene appeared on camera was an evening, fresh from ashore. Wet hair draped down, in a room with a heater, wearing a slightly sheer nightgown. Summer Rain, face cold, didn't speak to her. Willow Serene kept serving him soup food. Summer Rain's eyes fixed on her. She tried to hold his hand. He flinched, shocked, pushing her away. What do you take me for? Lawyer Willow, this is the last time I cook soup for you. Next month I'm going home to meet someone. Don't come back. That night, Willow Serene sat silently in the living room for a long time. The house and money are yours. I'll take our son. I was silent for a moment. Who our son follows, let him decide. You said it, don't regret it. Willow Serene's words were firm. I looked at the clear sky after the snow. My heart tightened slightly. With one radiance, I wasn't very confident. At 3, he remembered everything after one glance. At 5, he started learning Go. At 7, he earned the prodigy title. Always different from other kids. Never crying or acting spoiled. Though I cared for his clothes transport, he wasn't especially close to me. I teach psychology, researched cases specifically. Kids like him with superior brain development, are slower in emotional needs and expression. To him, me, Willow, Serene, auntie, or grandma, it didn't seem to matter. After sending him to the Go teacher, each visit, he was indifferent, fully focused on the Go board. On his competition day, I dropped him off, then went to the university briefly. When I returned, had beaten his opponent in record time. Being interviewed, I saw Willow, Serene, and my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law held his hand, grinning ear to ear. Willow Serene spoke eloquently to the camera. Her famous divorce case came because the client knew she was the prodigy's mom, so they trusted her. Since then, she was his spokesperson in interviews, gaining more clients. After the interview, Willow Serene came to me, desire new yen. For the sake of our years as husband and wife, if giving you the money and house, sure, it's a lot for you, but for me, it's just a year's fee. 1 radiance will do much better with me than you. I gritted my teeth, sneering. Did 1 radiance say he chose you? She huffed, leaning aside, letting me see. 1 radiance holding my mother-in-law's hand, getting into the car. What do you say? My body stiffened. My nails dug into my palms. Suddenly, the car door opened. 1 radiance with his backpack stepped out. My mother-in-law called after him. Like a small adult, he walked steadily straight to me, looked up, saying I got in mom's car to grab my backpack. Dad, you're late. I held back my emotions, slowly saying sorry. Dad, I was late. I didn't expect you to be so good, winning so quickly. Willow Serene's face darkened, voice low. 1 radiance. Come with mom. If hired a national Go champion to coach you. 1 radiance, expression calm. But mom's about to divorce dad, right? So I can't go with mom and grandma. With that, he took my trembling hand. Let's go, dad. I need to get back early. There's another match tomorrow. I looked up slightly. All right, son. Willow Serene stood there, her face grim. In the car, I suppressed my shock and emotion. Carefully said, 1 radiance. Do you really understand what mom and dad divorcing means? 1 radiance sat in the back, in a young but calm voice. I know. Dad, are you sad? Teacher said. Never grieve over lost squares on the board. My eyes suddenly teared up. I always thought he didn't understand love or emotion. I was wrong. Not expressing doesn't mean not understanding. For a master, he saves his precious energy for what's at hand. When things are stable, he doesn't invest much emotion, but when things change, he quickly judges and chooses. My son 1 radiance is a born master. While Summer Rain once again parted reluctantly with Willow Serene, she finally couldn't hold back. Rushed to kiss him. Summer Rain no longer refused. Accepted it all. He held her step by step into the bedroom. I logged out of the camera, but Big Fly didn't let me off. Messaged your wife's been in that room all day and night. Need me to help you catch them in the act. No need, it's come to this. Don't you want to vent? You really want this couple to live happily ever after. You don't understand. They must stay together for me to win. 2 days later, Willow Serene and I went to the Civil Affairs Bureau for the divorce. The house and son went to me. Though she left empty-handed, her face was radiant. No wonder after staying chaste for half a year. 1 release was like rain after a drought. As we left the bureau, she looked at me coldly, desire new yen. You think you've won? Maybe you don't know. Next year, my law firm will add a new partner, expand its scale. My bonus will double. In other words, the money you fought for is less than my annual fee. As for 1 radiance, Hayes Young doesn't understand yet. When he grows up, hell no, who can help him more? Can you keep him then? At her last words, she suddenly staggered, fell to the ground, clumsily crawled up, confused, looking at her feet. I quietly looked at her, smiled, congratulations. If you live to enjoy it. She frowned, about to say something, but I turned and walked away. Not long after, Big Fly, during their passionate moment, oblivious to the world, led friends to barge in, snapping photos wildly, shouting ready to fight. Willow Serene, utterly embarrassed, had to pay $300,000 to silence them. Summer Rain said they must marry immediately and make it grand, or those thugs would spread rumors. Later, Willow Serene mortgaged her law firm shares for $5 million, part to pay a deposit for a house. bought for Summer Rain, the rest for a lavish wedding. Before the wedding, Summer Rain texted me your promise. Does it still stand? His words full of sarcasm and triumph. I replied, invitation. On the wedding day, the internet exploded with news. Headline: famous divorce lawyer leaves empty-handed for love. Comments flooded. Wow, this is unexpected but beautiful. To be with him. I gave up my career. Isn't that the most resilient man? He finally overcame hardship, found his love. He's moral principled. Divorced empty-handed before seeking love. Nothing to blame. But the ex-husband must feel bitter. Bitter, he's probably thrilled. Got the money, the house. Left a woman who didn't love him. Isn't that great? Anyway, a professional divorce lawyer for love. Gave up what she excelled at. If that's not love, what is? That day at the wedding's climax, Summer Rain tearied, emotionally said, the light boat has passed 10,000 mountains. Thunderous applause erupted. All guests sincerely blessed the couple, including me. Half a year later, driving one Radiance to his Go Academy, stuck in traffic at the hospital gate, I saw Willow Serene and Summer Rain sitting by a roadside flower bed, holding a medical report, both with dazed eyes. Summer Rain suddenly stood shouting, the result's the same. Not a mistake. Why is my life so cursed? He shouted, then ran off soulless. Willow Serene didn't even look up, motionless, staring at her feet. After a while, Big Fly appeared, quickly strode over, grabbed her collar, threw a hard punch. Willow Serene didn't resist falling. Big Fly roared, didn't you say 20,000 a month? You owe me 2 months? Want me to leak all the photos and videos? Willow Serene crawled up, wiped blood from her mouth, softly said, no money left. Won't pay any more. Do what you want. Big Fly shouted, no money? Aren't you a big boss with bonuses? Who are you fooling? Willow Serene looked up quietly at the sky. I have epilepsy. The partners found out, withdrew capital. The sheer value just covered the 5 million loan. I can't work now, no income. Big Fly incredulous, not a single cent. Willow Serene smiled bitterly, if I weren't sick. That money's nothing. Before finishing, tears streamed from her eyes. The car's rear window suddenly rolled down. I turned. One Radiance was looking out, calling mom. Willow Serene saw us, her body trembling, then lowered her head, sobbing. One Radiance desire Nguyen, am sick. I miss you both so much. Mom, your collar. One Radiance continued. Willow Serene raised her tear-streaked face, blankly asked what? There's dog poop. One Radiance finished rolling up the window. Outside was Willow Serene's hopeless, helpless face. Long after, I deliberately avoided news of Willow Serene and Summer Rain. When fate's wheel starts turning, the outcome is set. Until one day, One Radiance and I ate a new dish Andy learned. Sitting in the living room chatting, digesting, I changed how I raised One Radiance. Besides go, I wanted him to experience life more. He pondered, then asked, Dad, are you lonely? I was slightly stunned, but nodded yes. I want you to spend more time with me. He thought, then agreed. From then on, after dinner, he didn't go to his room, but chatted or watched TV with me. When Summer Rain's face appeared on the news, I was startled. He was completely changed. Face haggard, eyes weary, high cheekbones, then lips almost harsh. He wiped tears before reporters. My life's unlucky. One wife paralyzed. This wife has epilepsy. I hope society can help me more. The camera panned to a bed in a dilapidated room. A woman lay silently, staring at the ceiling so thin she was unrecognizable. It was Willow Serene. The reporter faced the camera emotional. No matter what, Brother Rain's spirit is admirable. He and his wife united for love. She sacrificed everything for him. He didn't abandon her in hardship. One Radiance looked at the woman on TV. Dad, I want to visit Mom. I agreed. 2 days later, finding the address from the news, I was surprised. It was a crumbling, nearly hazardous building, even worse than Summer Rain's old place. Holding One Radiance's hand, I climbed to the second floor. The house was empty, furniture sparse, worn, items scattered messily, wondering if I'd come to the wrong place. From the corner of the bed came a wheezing sound. Willow Serene's eyes opened wide, staring at us. I held one Radiance's hand, stepping closer. His eyes instantly red. Tears streamed down. His mouth made incoherent sounds. I quietly looked at her. Her eyes sunken, cheekbones protruding. Once sharp, lively eyes, now cloudy, dull. Hair tangled, clearly uncombed for days. Her shirt front wet, stained with vegetable bits and rice grains. I could hardly believe this was the once fastidious Willow Serene. She stared at me unblinking, her eyes filled with pain, sorrow, regret, despair. I calmed myself. Said, "One Radiance wanted to visit you. I brought him." One Radiance took a stack of cash from his backpack. "Mom, this is my red envelope money. I want to give it to you." One Radiance said seriously, "What's the use of giving it to her? Doesn't she still rely on me?" Summer Rain sneered, stepping in, snatched the cash from One Radiance, quickly counted 20,000. He looked at me, voice resentful. "That's it. She left you over 20 million. I looked at him quietly. "Where's your 5 million? He stopped buying you a house." Summer Rain snorted. "That house was only 20% paid. She's bedridden. How could I pay the loan? I sold it, bought this. At least we have a place. The remaining 800,000 in the bank, only 1,800 monthly interest, plus the district's subsidy. Barely enough to live." Desire New Yen. As her son's father, "Shouldn't you return some money?" I smiled. "Isn't that enough to live? Didn't you boast money's what you despise most? You're broke and asking me for money. If I were broke, would you give me a cent?" Turning to Willow Serene, silently crying, calmly said, "Back then you swore over the phone to stay chaste for love. You did it, and can keep it for life. You admired Summer Rain, never abandoning his disabled wife. Now you're enjoying the same. Willow Serene, did you get what you wished for? Why are you crying?" Her whole body trembled. Her mouth let out a long moan. I took One Radiance's hand, left without looking back. Driving on the boulevard, I was quiet for a while. Asked One Radiance, "Do you blame Dad for treating Mom like that?" One Radiance shook his head. "No. Teacher said once you move a piece, no regrets, but think clearly. One wrong move, the whole board is lost." I sighed in relief, then remembered something. Worriedly said to my son, "Don't grow up to be the type who regrets being left by a wife. That'd be miserable." For some reason, I always felt he had that potential in some ways. One Radiance looked puzzled. Why would chasing a wife involve a crematorium? I realized my slip, unsure how to explain. One Radiance thought, then understood. "I get it. Like Mom, right? No, Dad, I'm a straightforward player." Straightforward player? I didn't understand. One Radiance's voice was calm but firm. "A straightforward player takes responsibility for every move. Once a piece is placed, it never changes." Though vague, I believed. After all, my son One Radiance is a master. End of story.